it is an extremely, extremely helpful tool. So best way to
Mm.
think about it is an AI coding assistant that is really, really good. And actually, we recently did a presentation on it where there were a variety of use cases, actually not just for development, but it's honestly, it's an AI tool that's built on top of Visual Studio Code that allows you to really interact with metadata in the way you
Mm.
want, and it can help to generate code in the right way. So it's honestly, it's a massive, massive tool I'm using daily.
That's fantastic. So I want to say one thing about Notebook LM. I remember as a student where we had to study so much and
Yes.
gather information from different resources. As a student today, it's a fantastic place where you can just drop in multiple PDFs. And I saw they
Yep.
had a new feature called the flashcards and quiz.
That's a good
Incredible.
call. Yeah.
Incredible, right? I mean, even if you're prepping for a Salesforce exam, you can just put in bunch of Salesforce documentation, and then you can have your own flashcards or quiz, which will allow you to effectively prepare for the Salesforce certification. The
That's a great
second
call.
thing is Cursor. I have been hearing a lot of good things about Cursor, but one thing that you mentioned, which really caught my attention, was it said it has metadata. So I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, but where Cursor really separates itself from Gemini or ChatGPT or something else is that it has context. It has
Yes.
context about what has been implemented, which means your LLM output is probably going to be way more accurate than something else. So for brainstorming, you might want to use Gemini, things like that. For research, you will want to use Notebook LM because it's going to give you output in terms of the things that you have used as sources. But from a technical standpoint, you want your LLM to have an understanding of the implementation, so you would then rely on Cursor.
Exactly. I think that's a perfect way to put it because let's say I'm designing a trigger and I need to build some automation where it makes more sense to use Apex over flows for an automation. It's, let's say it's bulk or performance or, a variety of reasons I want to
Mhm.
use Apex. I obviously, if I'm building it in an org that's there, I want to follow a certain trigger framework. So the ability for me to, yes, Gemini can produce code, it can do a good job, but the ability for me to use a tool like Cursor that can reference the existing trigger and automation trigger framework, things of the like, that's massive. So that way it's much more applicable. And if I'm doing a POC, hey, it has that design. But if I'm building functionality,
Mm.
it gives me a great start to get where I want to go.
That is awesome. So I want no pressure. I want to ask you one thing. You have
Yeah.
been using Cursor, and my mind is blown. Can we see a demo? I feel like the
Yes.
people who are watching this video would love to see how Cursor works in reality, and then I want all of them to go and try out Cursor and see how they can use in their daily lives.
Absolutely. No, I think honestly, when we did the presentation we did on Cursor, like that was a big thing. Seeing it actually work
Mhm.
is massive for this. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and I'll walk through this.